MTT5. This is all about new time signatures. So we know what a time signature is. It tells you how many beats there are in a bar. And we've got some new ones here we've not come across before. So it says every time signature that you have learned so far has a 4 at the bottom, showing that you should count in crotchet beats. So that's, if you remember, the two numbers of a time signature. The top number is the number of beats in a bar, and it says that here. The top number of a time signature shows the number of beats in a bar, so how many beats you should count. The bottom number tells you what type of beat each of those are. So if the number at the bottom is a 4, so like for example 2-4 or 4-4, it means that each beat is a crotchet beat that we're counting. Now in this example, the bottom number is an 8. And this stands for quaver beats. So in 3/8 there are 3 quaver beats in each bar. Here notes and rests are usually grouped in quaver beats, except where 3 quaver notes appear in a bar. Then they are beamed together to make the music easy to read. So just like in 4/4, 3/4, 2/4, anything with a 4 at the bottom, we tend to group notes in crotchet beats. Here we're grouping notes in quaver beats, except like they say where we've got just 3 quavers, where all of them are quavers, we can just beam them all together to make it simple. Okay, so use 2 quaver rests where there are 2 quaver beats of silence in 3/8. So we've got we've got a quaver rest, a quaver here, and then we want to see each of those individual quaver beats. Like it says, use 2 quaver rests where there are 2 quaver beats of silence. Okay, so it just makes it a bit easier to read because you are looking individually at each quaver beat, and you can see that there are 3 of them. Okay, 3/8. This is fine though with notes, and like we've said, there's no need to tie 2 quavers together to make, you can actually write that as a crotchet. Okay, so with all of these things we're trying to make it easier and simpler to read. I've got all of this information here. Got another type of time signature, 2/2. So in this case, in 2/2, there's another way to write this. It looks similar to common time, but it's got a line through it. There are 2 minim beats in the bar. Okay, so the top number again refers to how many beats there are, and the bottom number refers to what type of beat, and that is a minim beat now. So 2 stands for minim beats, a 4 stands for crotchet beats, and a 8 stands for quaver beats. So here's some things here. 2/2 is 2 minims, so we've got a minim beat there, and we've got 2 crotchets, which adds up to a minim, and the same here. I forgot to mention here, notes and rests are usually grouped in minim beats. Okay, so we wouldn't want to write that as individual crotchet beats. This is what you would write if it was 4/4. You want to see the individual crotchet beats because we group things in crotchet beats. But here, everything's grouped in minims. So we want to have a whole minim beat there and then see these 2 paired up to make a minim beat there, and so on. Here's another example, 2/2. So we've got a crotchet and we pair that with a crotchet beat because that pairs up nicely, a minim there, and then that pairs up with that. We don't want to write it like this because you're kind of cutting this in half. They're pairing that up, and we don't want to have to cut that minim in half. So it's better to write it like this. Okay. So, and one more example. We've got these quavers beamed in minims, and then we've got these here 2 half minims, 2 crotchets. Okay. Rather than grouping them in like this, that's then grouping in crotchets, and it's not grouping in minims. Grouping in minims, you want to group all of those together. Okay, I've got one more time signature, 3/2. So like 2/2, 3, 2 is counted in minim beats as well because we've got a 2 at the bottom, which means minim beats. Notes and rests are usually grouped in minim beats. A full bars note in 3, 2 is a dotted semibreve. So we've got a note now which is longer than a semibreve, a dotted semibreve. A semibreve is worth 4 crotchet beats or 2 minim beats. And then the dot is half of that, so is worth a minim beat. So a semibreve plus a minim is a dotted semibreve. Okay, that's if we think in crotchet beats, that's 4 plus 2 equals 6. If we're thinking in minim beats, that's 2 minim beats plus 1 minim beat equals 3 minim beats. Okay, right. So that's all the information there, and then we're getting on with the MTT. So it says write the correct number of beats in quavers, crotchets or minims in each of the following bars. So this looks a bit like one of those creative ones, but it's not. You're just going to write all of them the same. So we look at the bottom number is the most essential thing. We've got 2 at the bottom, which means it's minim beats. So we want to be writing minims. And how many in each bar? 2 in each bar. So we've got 1 minim there and 1 minim there. And the same here. And you just fill all the bars with that. Okay? And then the next is 2, 4. So it's going to be 2 of something, but what? 4 represents crotchet beats, so 2 crotchet beats. 3 minim beats, so 3 minims in each bar. 3 crotchets in each bar. 3 quavers in each bar. So that will look like well, they've done it at the top, so it's exactly the same. And what does this mean? Can you remember? This actually means stands for à la brève. And it means 2, 2. So that's the same as 2, 2, which is done up there. And then we know common time is 4, 4. Okay, and turning over finally to the last page. Question 2, fill the coloured boxes with correctly grouped notes to complete the bars. So we've got an example of 3, 2. So we're looking for 3 minims. There's a minim. We want to add another minim. And, you can be a bit creative here, do whatever you want really, whatever notes you want. So we've got 2 minims. I'm going to pair off this with another minim, with another crotchet to make a minim there, and we need another minim. So I'm just going to put a minim. Okay, but you can put quavers, whatever, as long as it adds up to the right amount, and it needs to be grouped in minims. Okay, so here's another example. 3, 2. Well, can only be one thing. No, sorry. We're going to pair up this crotchet with another crotchet to make a minim beat. We've got another minim beat, so we need 3 minim beats. So we need another minim. My mistake. Sorry. So you can continue with that. And finally, question 3: fill the coloured boxes with correctly grouped rests to complete the bars. So we've got, this is rests this time, same thing but with rests. So the example is 3 minim beats, so we've got a minim note and then 2 minim rests to make up 3 minims. We're going to do the same thing here, a minim note, and we need 1 minim rest. Make sure that's sitting on the line. And then 3 minim rests. We've got 3 quavers here, so we've got a crotchet, we want 1 quaver rest there, and so on. So I'll let you finish that off. Okay, that is MTT5.